are eating less than you used to, moving more than you used to, and your body is sitting there completely unbothered like it did not get the memo. And the most frustrating part is that you cannot even explain this to anyone without sounding like you're making excuses. Because from the outside, I'm doing everything right and nothing is changing just sounds like something people say when they do not want to admit they are sneaking snacks at midnight. You are not sneaking snacks at midnight, something else is going on, and it has nothing to do with your effort. So, before you cut another food group or add another hour of cardio to your week, it is worth understanding what is actually happening inside your body. Because the reason you're stuck is not the reason you think it is. Your body has one priority that sits above everything else, and that priority is keeping you alive. Not lean, not toned, not fitting into anything specific, just alive. And your body evolved over hundreds of thousands of years during which food was never guaranteed, which means it developed very sophisticated systems for protecting itself the moment food starts running low. When you eat significantly less than your body is used to, it does not look at your fat stores and think, great, free fuel. Finally, it reads the situation as the beginning of a potential famine and immediately starts doing damage control in every system it can reach. Your metabolism slows down to match your reduced intake. Your hunger hormones increase so aggressively that food becomes genuinely hard to stop thinking about regardless of how much willpower you think you have. Your body temperature drops slightly, your energy drops noticeably. And instead of burning fat as its primary fuel source the way you were hoping, your body starts breaking down muscle tissue for energy instead because muscle is metabolically expensive to maintain, and your body is in conservation mode and muscle is one of the first things it is willing to sacrifice. So what actually happens is that you end up lighter on the scale sometimes, but with less muscle and roughly the same amount of fat you started with, and a metabolism that is now running slower than it was before you started dieting. Which means the moment you go back to eating normally, because nobody sustains severe restriction forever, the fat returns faster than it left because your body has literally adapted to require less food to function. This is not a personal failure, and it is not your body being difficult. It is your biology responding exactly the way it was designed to respond, to the exact approach the diet industry has been confidently recommending to women for decades. Make of that what you will. Now add chronic stress on top of all of that, because this is where things get genuinely unfair. When your body is under sustained stress from restricting food, from exercising excessively, from sleeping poorly, from the general experience of being a person trying to manage a life, it produces elevated levels of cortisol. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and it has a relationship with fat storage that the fitness industry almost never explains clearly because it is deeply inconvenient for the advice they are selling. High cortisol signals your body to store fat, particularly around your midsection as a rapidly accessible energy reserve for whatever threat your body thinks it is facing. It simultaneously increases your cravings for calorie-dense foods because your body is trying to rebuild its energy reserves as fast as possible, and it directly disrupts the hormones responsible for regulating hunger and fullness, which means you feel hungrier than your actual caloric needs justify, and you feel less satisfied after eating than you normally would. If your life is stressful, your diet is restrictive, your workouts are intense and frequent, and your sleep is suffering, your cortisol is probably chronically elevated, and chronically elevated cortisol means your body is actively working to store fat, regardless of how disciplined your meals have been, which is the kind of information that would have been useful before you spent 3 months eating salads and feeling terrible. Sleep is the component of this entire equation that gets the least attention and probably deserves the most. After even a single night of poor sleep, your hunger hormone ghrelin increases measurably and your fullness hormone leptin decreases measurably. This is not a feeling or a theory. This is a documented hormonal shift that happens in your body after one bad night, and it means the following day you are biologically hungrier than normal, food satisfies you less than normal, and your brain's capacity for rational decision-making around food is genuinely compromised in a way that has nothing to do with your character or your commitment to your goals. You eat more than you planned, feel bad about it, restrict harder the following day to compensate, sleep poorly again because restriction and elevated stress hormones keep your nervous system in a state of activation at night, and wake up the next morning even hungrier than the day before. That loop continues indefinitely, and it is driven entirely by hormones and sleep deprivation, not by a lack of discipline. Treating sleep as a non-negotiable part of your fat loss plan, rather than a luxury you sacrifice when life gets busy, is not a soft lifestyle suggestion. It is one of the most direct interventions available for the hormonal environment that is keeping you stuck. Cardio deserves an honest conversation too, because the way it gets used in most women's fat loss plans is one of the bigger reasons results stall out completely. Your body adapts to cardiovascular exercise faster than most people expect. The same session that created a meaningful calorie burn in your first week of doing it is burning considerably fewer calories by week 6 or 8 because your body has become efficient at performing that movement. Efficiency is excellent for your cardiovascular health and genuinely frustrating for ongoing fat loss because the stimulus your body is adapting to keeps shrinking while you keep showing up and doing the same thing expecting a different result. And when you're already eating in a calorie deficit, layering in high volumes of cardio on top of that amplifies the overall stress load your body is managing, raises cortisol further, accelerates the breakdown of muscle tissue for fuel, and pushes your metabolism to adapt downward even more aggressively. The combination of severe calorie restriction and heavy daily cardio is one of the most reliably counterproductive approaches to body composition that has ever been widely recommended, which makes it genuinely remarkable that it remains the default advice given to women who want to lose fat. Protein is quietly responsible for more stalled fat loss attempts than most women ever identify. Your body uses protein as the primary raw material for building and maintaining muscle tissue, and muscle tissue is what keeps your metabolism elevated, gives your body shape, and makes fat loss sustainable over time rather than temporary. Most women eating what they consider a clean, healthy diet are consuming far less protein than their body needs to support any meaningful change in body composition. Without enough protein, your body has no material to maintain the muscle it already has, let alone build more of it, which means the deficit you're eating in is gradually destroying the tissue that would make the deficit work in the first place. More protein keeps you fuller on fewer total calories, burns more energy during digestion than any other macronutrient, and directly supports the muscle preservation that determines whether your fat loss produces an actually different body or just a smaller version of the same one. The scale is doing something to your psychology that deserves to be named clearly because it sabotages more fat loss attempts than bad nutrition ever has. Your body weight shifts by multiple pounds every single day based on water retention, hormonal fluctuations, sodium intake, and digestive content, none of which represent actual fat gain or fat loss. A woman can be consistently training, eating well, and making genuine progress in her body composition while watching her scale weight go up for an entire week because of where she is in her hormonal cycle. That number goes up. The feeling of failure arrives immediately. The question of whether any of this is worth continuing surfaces, and the decision to quit becomes significantly easier to make. Real progress lives in how your clothes fit, in your strength levels, in your energy, in measurements taken over months. It does not live in a daily number that cannot distinguish between muscle, fat, water, and last night's dinner. What your body actually needs to lose fat in a way that works and keeps working is enough food to keep your metabolism operating properly rather than in crisis mode. Enough protein to maintain the muscle tissue that keeps that metabolism elevated. A training approach that genuinely challenges your muscles with progressive resistance rather than one that simply exhausts you repeatedly without giving your body a reason to adapt. Sleep treated as seriously as any other component of the plan, and a timeline that is honest about the fact that visible changes in body composition take months of constant effort to become obvious. The gap between that reality and the timelines being sold by every transformation challenge on the internet is where most women lose confidence in themselves when they should be losing confidence in the advice. Your body is not broken. It is not uniquely resistant to change. It is not working against you. It is responding to the signals you have been sending it, and right now those signals are telling it to hold on, conserve everything, and protect itself from what looks like a threat. Change those signals. Give your body what it actually needs to function and respond. And the results that have felt impossible start becoming the most predictable thing in the world. If this finally made something click that months of fitness content never did, subscribe, because this is what we do here and there is a lot more where that came from.